What's up? What's up? Here we are with a daily rewind 2.0 007 2.0. Why? Well, because I jumped back on. SBFM ended up short squeezing. What the heck? Who would have thought? Well, I sort of had a feeling that we would. And I was asked, and I made that comment in the Discord like, hey, SBFM possible short squeeze. Someone replied, the chart doesn't indicate any short squeeze. Why are you thinking there's gonna be a short squeeze? In which I said, just experience. I don't think I was. I think he may have had a serious question of why I thought it was gonna short squeeze, and I maybe took a little offense to it, but I would say, if I were to say it again, I would say price action. By watching the price action on SBFM throughout the day, it had that feeling of short squeezing. Why? Well, because it was pretty bearish. The daily chart looked bearish. It looked like we were gonna break below 486, which was yesterday's low, and so no surprise at open this thing starts dumping. I mean, it really didn't look that good, and I dismissed it and I started trading BBAI, and I dismissed this, but I came back to see that it double bottomed here and then ripped right back up through VWAP. And oh, I need to loop this new track. So I guess if I would to re-say, it's because it was holding up. It looked like it should go short. It looked like it should drop and just sell off for the rest of the day. It looked like it, but it was not doing that. It was not dumping. It dumped at the open, right in here, or you guys can't even see. What the heck? What is playing here? Oh, okay, here. The main point is, it looked like it was gonna dump, and it did. It dumped at open. And it formed a nice big 1 minute bear flag. But what happened to that bear flag? I said this in the previous video. It failed. It double bottomed and it skyrocketed right way back up through VWAP. It ended up selling back down. And I was like, okay, now it should go short. In my mind and everyone else's mind, in all these shorts' mind, they're like, all right, now, that was the one pop. That was the one rebuttal. Now it's done. No, it bottoms out again and it pushes and it comes back up, almost breaks the high at 585 of the day. It doesn't end up breaking. It comes all the way back down, and so it comes back down. You're like, okay, now it's gonna sell off. Now it's gonna break below 486. That's the daily chart does not look strong at this point. It looks like it's a red candle. It's red. It looks like it's gonna break down below 486. It's logical that it would do that. Guess what it does? It bottoms out, pops up, and it's not like a straight shot, and it just starts grinding higher and higher. It gives another pop, breaks above 480 or 580 again, pulls back a little bit, and you're like, okay, now I'll go short. No, it doesn't go short. Pops up, consolidates around 6. At this point, I'm like, okay, this thing is looking really good, the short squeeze. I already had the feeling, because of my experience, because of my intuition, because of the price action, because I knew the stock was weak looking, because I knew that a lot of shorts were shorting this, betting that it was going to break below 486. I knew there was a possible short squeeze setting up. And I can't stress enough that it really does come down to your experience and your intuition. There was no indicator. I wasn't doing math to say, okay, this stock is going to short squeeze. This stock, I was just looking at the price action, and I was saying this feels awfully like a stock that I've seen before in the past that short squeezes. And now I'm watching here. There's a double bottom entry that I might have to get into right down here. Let's see, 50 shares. Should I get in? I'll get in. I'm on Wi-Fi, so it's a bit. I'm in it for a double bottom entry at about 712. I wouldn't be surprised to see us up around 722. I'll put a sell there. So, anyways, yeah, it's not even really a real trade, but it looks pretty good that I'll probably get my fill there at 722. And is there a way? Let me see. Customize. I want to see P&L on open. Okay, there we go. I'll pull this over here, and then I'll make $5. Looks like I'll make $5 if this hits, or 475. But anyways, shoot. Oh, it filled. So yeah. I had my thing shown here, which I would like to keep. So that filled. That was a nice double bottom entry there. So that was 50 shares. Now imagine if I was in 7,500 shares. Instead of making $5, I would have made like 500. You know, so as simple as that. So anyways, why did I think this was going to short squeeze? You know, what indicator was I going to use? That's the question. Because I almost took offense to it, really. But it comes down to intuition. It comes down to price action. It comes down to the fact that this stock looked like it was supposed to go short. It looked like it was going to break below 486. It kept looking like it was going to drop and sell off. It never did. And so what can you conclude from that? You can conclude that there's a lot of shorts that were thinking the same thing, and they're in these positions that are now constantly being tested. Yeah, it didn't short squeeze majorly right here, but the reason why, you know, this may have been why this moves up so fast is because bulls know that shorts are in this thing, and they know that they were hoping that it would break down a lot sooner. And so we take advantage of that weakness. We push in those moments where we know the shorts are in a pinch. In the micro and the macro, we had a little mini short squeeze here that didn't resolve, but ended up going here. Now, this is what I would say is a authentic, full-blown, big-scale short squeeze. These are maybe micro short squeezes that I was calling out here, but I knew they had the potential to go to a macro short squeeze, to a big short squeeze. There was definitely potential, because if this gets rolling in the right, if it gets going in the right speed and the right tempo, this very well could take off. This kind of move could have been happening after this. So the stock to me just felt short squeezy. Why? Because it kept dropping and then coming back up with velocity. There was no reason why 2 hours into the day we were getting strong pops back up above VWAP after being so heavily shorted, so heavily sold into on all these pops. Why is there still people buying here? I don't know. But I'm just saying, my intuition, my experience was telling me, hey, this is the kind of stock that short squeezes. It looks like it should be going short, but it's not. It's holding and it's holding and it's holding, and I knew that it was likely going to be later in the day. Yeah, I thought there was definitely a possibility here. There was definitely a possibility here, and I traded this right here, and I made $1,400 on that, trading that, knowing very well that this was kind of a short squeezy stock. So just because I didn't catch this, I mean, I did jump back on, and we'll talk about that in a second. I did jump back on against my rules to trade the rest of this momentum, but it ends up curling here. That's another key word. It was curling. Let's go to the 5 minute to get some more clarity. It was curling. Right here it curled as like a double bottom. It's almost like an ABCD here, and it was right here is when I was calling possible short squeeze. Why? Because I knew that a move like this was very possible. In my gut, in my experience, watching the price action, I'm not looking at the MACD, I'm not looking at the RSI, I'm not even looking at the short interest. I already know shorts are shorting. I always assume shorts are in here somewhere. And I just knew that, maybe I shouldn't say I just knew, I had that gut feeling that this was going to short squeeze. And sometimes you just got to trust your gut. And that's what I did. I traded this move here and made $1,400. Then I shut down because it dumped, and I'm like, oh, it dumped. It's done for the day. But I still knew that it could still come back. Because why did I know that? Because all day it's been dumping and then coming right back up on a stock that, from what we can tell according to the daily chart, should be dumping. There was no reason for this to short squeeze. That's partly why it short squeezes, because there was no reason for it to short squeeze. You know, you got to be forward thinking when you're trading. You can't wait until a short squeeze and be like, oh yeah, that's a short. Hindsight is 20/20. You got to be at the forefront of seeing these patterns, of having an imagination, of being creative, of knowing and having that gut feeling of what could possibly happen. Because nothing's 100%. That's why I always say possible short squeeze. I never said guaranteed short squeeze. My gut was telling me, yeah, high chance that this will short squeeze. I still always say possibly. You know, might push high day, might break high day. It's possible. It's possible. I never. If people are talking 100%, it's like this is guaranteed to go. Then that's when you know not to trust them. If they're always saying this is guaranteed to happen, this will happen 100%, then you cannot trust those type of people. Real traders that know the market, know that anything is freaking possible. Just because the chart's not indicating a short squeeze doesn't mean that a short squeeze is not going to happen. No one thought GameStop was going to go to $500 pre-market. No one thought that. There was no chart indication that GameStop was going to rip to $500. So, anyways, I shut down about $2,400. I ended up watching it here because I'm keeping an eye on it because I'm like, yeah, at this point I kind of want to see what it does. Usually maybe I would just forget about it and not look at the chart, but since I was sort of emotionally invested on the performance of the stock, I was watching it. Sure enough, I saw it up in this area. I'm like, yeah, it looks better than ever for a short squeeze to happen. The probability of a short squeeze happening looks highly likely in this area. And I saw it and I was like, oh, rip up to 6. Rip up to 6. I was like, okay, yeah, we'll probably break 640. We ended up breaking 640, and then this is more so when the macro short squeeze happens. We had some micro ones down here that were, they were false starts. They were close. There's no doubt in my mind that something like this in a different kind of market, in a different situation, this could have ripped and done the short squeeze then. And that's why I was calling it out. It ended up happening a little bit later, and then we really squeezed even more than I thought. I thought we'd have a short squeeze, at least to scare some shorts. We'd scare them out around the 630, 640. I was like, all right, we'll scare them out there and then probably dump. No, this thing full blown did a legit short squeeze, break of 680, and then a whole another dollar more. And it squeezed fast. I didn't start trading until it was up in there. It got to the point where it's like, I have to trade this. Like there's no other good momentum during the day. I have to trade this move. I ended up jumping on, picking up an extra couple $1,000 just trading these pushes here. And now watching it here on the 5-minute, man, we look like, how many more minutes to the next 5-minute? Man, it looks like the next 5-minute candle, we could rip right back up to 789. This stock could be $8, $10, $8, $9, $10 by end of day. I mean, this is just a kind of an elongated pullback here, 5-minute, but it's still healthy. It is still very healthy. This thing could still very well rip. I have a little bit of FOMO. I almost feel like I should get back on. I mean, I got in on that. Let me look at the 1 minute. Let's go down to the 1 minute now. I got in for the double bottom entry here at 708 with 50 shares. I mean, you guys saw that. Sold up at 722. Ends up pulling back. It gives it like another double bottom. Now we're up here. So you guys got to understand that there's always patterns within patterns, and this pattern and that pattern, and it's I'm saying double bottom here, and then I'm saying double bottom here, and a lot of it just comes down to your imagination, your creativity, looking at the chart, looking at the possibilities, and you can't wait for the patterns to show up. By that time, it's too late. If you're waiting for it to rip, then you've already missed the rip. You got to be in before. You got to be the guy that's saying possible short squeeze before the short squeeze happens, because you're going to miss the bulk of the move. Looking back, I should have kept 7,500 shares for a $2 move. I would have made 15 grand. I mean, I had that gut feeling, short squeeze. But like I said, anything is possible. Maybe it wouldn't have short squeeze. It just so happened that my gut was right today. And there, more times than not, my gut is usually correct. It's getting to that point where I've been trading long enough to where I know the type of stocks that short squeeze. And SBFM was one of them. And I called that out. Now, what was I going to say? By the way, Dutch Bros, orange, I forgot what it's called. Orange Groove. It's like a coffee and a little bit of orange citrus. Not too bad. Lots of sugar though. I wouldn't recommend it if you're health conscious. So I ended up 3,500 on this about BBAI about $1,000. Yeah. So that stock BBAI was just scraping off the bottom. I scraped a couple scalps off the bottom below VWAP. So yeah, I ended up getting back on. I think it was about in this pullback area right here. Traded this break of the pivot. Nice rip. I think I traded this right here again. Nice rip. Tried to get in on this one here. This ended up failing. Weakness. Big dump here. And at that point I knew, the best opportunities were likely over. Yeah, we'll probably get some pops, and we got a pop here. But I walked away after this area. I thought we'd get a pop here. We didn't, but now we are looking like we might come back up to high day. I mean, I'm tempted. We have a 22,000 share seller here. I'm sure it's not going to be hard to get him out of the way. And then it's off to the races up to 789. It'll go quick. So if you're not forward thinking and getting in here at 750, you might be buying in at 765, 770, and by that point, here we go, 21,000 share, 15,000. He's out of the way. So I would have been 750, and it's not taking off as fast as I would like. So I'd be cautious here. I'd give it a second. I'd hold. We got a bid here holding us up at 750. It's holding. Okay, shorts will cover a little bit here, and bulls will step in. Let's see that represent. Okay, here we go. Bulls coming in now. It should start speeding up as bulls see the potential here. We got a 14,000 share seller here. If he breaks, we're likely gonna break the pivot up at 764. It looks like we will. Testing 764 here. Looks like we broke for a millisecond, so there should be some profit taking here. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little pullback here, and then continuation up to 789, and then high day. This looks like we'll get high day. Let's see here. This candle will either go red or green. It's going a little red. It's holding. There's some buying here, so you got to be careful. This could slingshot up. Okay, some hidden sellers here. Let's see. It's holding. Oh, watch it. 26,000 share seller here. That's going to slow us down, so we'll probably get a pullback here. We'll get a pullback. Now, that seller isn't majorly huge, but it is enough to slow us down, especially on a 1 minute pattern. So maybe we'll get a few bars of pullback here, 2 or 3, and then rip to high day seems likely in my opinion at this point, especially after we broke the pivot at 764. And the fact that we're short, we've short squeezed up so high. I mean, it's in a very emotional area at this point. It's in a, I don't know if it's at all-time highs, but it's definitely up there. So it doesn't take long for this to slingshot. It could happen. It could happen quick too. So watch it here. Could get a slingshot up and through up to high day about right in a few seconds here. Okay, there's buying. We're pushing. Eventually, some shorts are gonna have to cover. There's probably some covering there. We got a bigger seller up here at 75. I have a feeling he might be taken out pretty quick. Part of me just feels like I should have just got in 3,700 shares down here and held for a high day. I mean, this is like easy money here. Yeah, he's getting bought up. It's going to start picking up speed here, I'm guessing. Oh, look at that. So there you go. There you go. That can happen. A later day. Yes? I'm on live right now.
Drink the whole drink. I really got any.
Ooh, it's dumping. That's what happens when you trade late. That can screw you over big time. So that's why you also got to be quick. Just when you think, I was saying it, just when you think it's going to go break high day, it dumps. Just when you think it's going to sell off for the rest of the day, it short squeezes. You know, that's the market. You always got to be on your toes. I thought for sure now a red flag should have been how we didn't really pick up speed, because I would have thought that in this area here we would have picked up speed really quick and started moving quick. And time again, big sellers kept jumping in. 20,000 share sellers here and there all the time. So I don't know if that's some big guy scalping, getting in and out really quick. Just seems like time and time again about a 20,000 share seller was popping up. But here's the thing with SBFM, it just dumped big, so you're like, oh, it's done. Well, not so fast. This is still the type of stock that can come back and can go to 10, 20, not $8, $9, $10. I'm not gonna say it's gonna go to 20, but it's just that kind of stock where shorts are gonna have a hard time on it. They'll have some nice wins, and they'll think they have it in the bag, and next thing you know, it's ripping against them, and it can go quick. So I think that does it for me. I just wanted to recap. Walking away up $4,500 today. A solid win. Definitely missed out on some momentum, but also protected myself from flushes like that. Had I added 7,500 shares and caught that flush, that could have been 70. That could have been $750, $1,500, $2,000 loss. I mean, from 780 to that's 80 cents. That on 7,500 shares, had I held that, had I hesitated, I could have lost almost $7,500. And then as quick as that, I can go from up 45 to down red, a couple grand. I mean, I've had that happen. So, that's partly why, that's kind of stops me from trading a lot. Is I try to trade the best right in here during the short squeeze. I traded these pullbacks. Caught the best I could. I'm not saying I got the best entries. I'm not saying I sold at the best exits. That's not what makes you a good trader. It's just the fact that I managed my risk. It's the fact that I took the profit when I had it. I got in on spots that had good opportunities to rip and low chances of dumping. And then when things slowed down, when we had that indicator that the bulls were not as in charge anymore, then you get out, and then this is chop. This is nice action here. This is chop, and sure enough, this is a representation of chop. Is this big rejection candle, just out of the blue, and you always got to be careful. But like I said, I mean, at the end of the day, it really did come down to my experience on knowing if this was going to short squeeze. What was my indicator? My indicator was my gut. And that is probably one of your most important indicators is your gut. Trusting your gut, using your experience. That's I would consider that an indicator. Your experience is an indicator. Also know, AKA your gut experience, one and the same, I would say. And so all I can say is practice every day. Be in the market. Learn from your mistakes. That's how you're going to learn, is making mistakes, and also making good decisions. When you make a good decision, you are rewarded for it. Then that reinforces that decision process, that decision making process. So I think I'm gonna cut it here. Get on with my day. This will post this video alongside the other one. And if you guys want to watch both, that would at this point, if you don't want to watch the whole video, then that hurts you more than it hurts me. I'll say that. Maybe it hurts me a little bit, but at the end of the day, the trader's mindset, how I process stuff, how I make decisions, I mean, that stuff is gold. Everyone's looking for the secret to trading, just tell us how to do it. What's the easy intro, and that there is none. There is none. There's no easy intro. There is no get rich in this business. It's blood, sweat, and tears. Practice every day, and even still you'll get frustrated. I mean, I'm just kind of hitting a slow period here after making 75 grand last month, and now I made good money today, but I lost 1,800 on Monday. I only made 160 on Tuesday. Luckily today, solid rebound, but still I'm not anywhere near what I would like to be on the week. But Thursday and Friday can change that. If I have big days on Thursday and Friday, I can finish the week at 10 grand. And that's where I kind of want to be, is that $10,000 area. Anything less than that is sort of a slower week, and God forbid a red week would be even a slower week. And I've had those weeks. I've had those months. So I'm going to cut it there, guys. Please drop a like. Please comment. Even if it's a hate comment, post it. If it's not too rude, then I'll leave it up there. But it will help the channel out. For now, I'm just sort of getting in the groove of posting every day, getting better at putting content out, getting better at talking, getting better at providing better videos. And then, maybe 2-3 years from now, then I'll be in a place where I do have a bigger following, where I do, I plan on doing advertising. I haven't even done any really advertising, paid advertising. I have the money to really pump advertising into this channel. I just haven't done it yet, just because I want to get my content better. I want to get the better camera. I want to get better audio. I want to get a better background before I start advertising. I don't want to advertise a channel that's still very immature, that's still figuring things out. I'm not ready to advertise a channel like that. For now, it's helping me to talk through this. It's helping the people that actually watch. It's helping them out in more ways than they probably realize. And so, with that, I'm going to head out for the day. I will be back tomorrow. Peace.